So I am trying to get as many of the dahlias that I have blooming right now. For some reason, my dahlias really took a long time to bloom this year, and right about now, the middle of October is when some of them are starting to bloom. As many of you know, I had some disappointments with dahlias this year, so I don't know. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do as far as dahlias go next year. I feel like there are a lot of flowers that I can have most of the season blooming that are not as picky and that are probably just as beautiful as dahlias. I still have to do a lot of thinking on that, but at this point I'm kind of like, I don't know if the dahlias are for me. But let me show you this gorgeous path right here. The coleus are just doing amazing. Right about this point, even though I don't enjoy the blooms on coleus, just a personal choice, nothing against them. I stopped cutting the blooms because the plants are already going in decline. The mornings here in Indiana are getting really cold. Fall is here and really cold temperatures are coming, and coleus for us is an annual plant that doesn't enjoy the cold. These plants are going to go brown pretty soon, and I already took some cuttings. I show you that on another video, and today those cuttings are doing amazing. I have some gorgeous roots, and today I'm going to just put them in containers, and hopefully they can overwinter indoors in little containers with the available light that I have. I do not plan to use any artificial light. I do have some grow lights inside, but I'm just not going to use them. So let me show you. So these are the cuttings that I took on that video, or at least a couple of them. Some of them are not doing quite well. I mean, I have roots, and as you can see, they're looking gorgeous, but the leaves are kind of, this guy, he completely lost all of the leaves, but he gave me some new growth here. These are all new leaves right here on the top. So I am going to definitely use these guys. And then this right here, this variety is doing great. Look at all those roots. I have a massive amount of roots. I mean, for me anyways. So these two guys have been in water for about 21 to 22 days. They're doing great. I have been changing the water every 2 to 3 days. Sometimes I forget, you know, I just go and change it. Nothing special with the water, nothing else added to it, just plain old water. Like I said, 20, 21, 22 days. And these guys right here, I took about a week before these guys. So these have been doing their thing about a month here. And let me show you the roots. Look at that. Look at all of that. As you can tell, I need to change the water here. If I was planning to keep them longer here in this water, I will definitely change it. This is already a little too dirty for me. And as you can tell, I have some leaves in there as well that have been falling from the cuttings. But overall, I think that the cuttings are just doing great. These guys right here, look at that. Look at the difference that 21 days versus a month makes. I mean, I can see it, but you may not be able from the video. So anyway, these guys are going to go in containers, and let me tell you what I'm going to be using. I have a lot of birds out here this morning. So these are the containers that I'm going to be using. I am using plastic. I am going to be trying to keep everything in plastic containers so that if for some reason I need to pot these up or change the containers, or if the coleus are doing great during the winter and they are outgrowing their container, maybe I can pot them up. But doing that with something like ceramic or something else that is really hard to squeeze, it will be harder to do. But having plastic is definitely the way to go if you want to change something up later. And also, I really like these containers because one, they're free. I had them from probably a few annuals that I got this year, so I saved the containers. And these guys, I am going to be using these waterproof containers. When I have my coleus in there, I can just put them up like right here. So whenever I water, this will sort of work as my protection if I have them on a table or on the floor or wherever it is that I am putting these guys. I don't know if these guys are too small for however much growing the coleus are going to do during the winter. Like I mentioned, this is my first year doing that. So my idea is to try and see what they do. Basically, this year is just going to be, you know, let's see how they do so that for future years, if I have success with this, and I can kind of plan accordingly. But like this guy right here, I have a lot of roots, and if I was to plant this guy, I will be putting it like this. But what I'm going to be doing is that I have plenty of leaves here. So I am going to be removing another set of leaves. That way I can just plant this deeper. And if I see any leaves that are kind of not looking great, then I'm just going to be removing that and putting that in the soil as well. That way I can give the roots and the plant as much chance as possible. And this is just kind of like guessing. This is not something that it's written in stone. There are tons of ways to do this. I know people that just do the cuttings and leave them in water for months before they even put them in soil. And whatever works for you, let me know. If you guys have been doing this before, if you have had success with this, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to know what you guys do. And like I say, I have these little containers, and I have some other like more cosmetic looking pots where I'm going to be putting those in. But I'm also going to be trying this size. These are just regular plastic 1 gallon containers where I'm probably going to be putting a couple of cuttings. Again, I don't know. And the little guys, I'm going to be using just 1 cutting per container. But these guys right here, I think that I can get away with using 2. Again, I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know if I can easily put 3 or 4 cuttings here, or if I should just do 1. I don't know. But again, these guys have draining holes. This guy doesn't. But this guy, I think, is going to look great right here. So that's my idea for today. I am going to be using regular potting mix, nothing special, nothing fancy. I am not doing any mixing of anything. I'm just using fresh potting mix. Hopefully that works for inside, but I am interested if you guys do this at home to know how you do that. So let me start putting this together and I'll show you at the end. Okay, I have just a little bit of soil here at the bottom. And one of the things that I read was that when the cuttings have been growing or have been rooting in water, you know, it's easy for them to grow, to do their thing. But the transition from water to soil is hard for them. So you want to be really, really careful when adding the soil. Don't just bury the sticks or the cuttings in the soil directly. Just place the soil around the cutting gently so that you don't break any of the roots or damage the cutting or the stem in this case. And yes, I am making a mess on this table, but that's why I have this cover, because I can just clean it up and put it in the washer, and then it's all great. Okay, so I think this is good right here. I want to allow a little bit of a space there for when I water it, and boom, these are perfect to go into this container. Again, this container on the outside is waterproof, no holes, but this guy has drainage holes, so they're going to go right there. So these are all the coleus cuttings that I have that I am going to be trying to overwinter inside next to my one of my south-facing windows. I heard that they don't necessarily enjoy direct light, meaning the sunshine cannot touch the leaves. But I also know that some of the darker leaves varieties handle the sun better. So I'm going to play with the placement and see how they like it. I know that a couple of these guys I had in direct sun next to a window indoors, and they just fry. So I'm just definitely going to keep an eye on those and see how they do, just how close or how far away from a window. Again, I am not using any artificial light. This is just natural light from the best window that I have in my home. But let me show you one more thing that I need to put up today, and that is the sweet potato vines. Look at these guys. Look at the roots. Look at that. And I have new growth happening. All of these green leaves, that's new growth. These guys were blooming inside. I had pink flowers all over them, but they're definitely in need to be potted up. Look at that. I mean, I'm gonna have a hard time just separating them. They had been here in water for a month, just the same as these big guys, and they have been doing great. So I am going to pot them up today. Look at that. So that's one. The sunshine is getting to them already. That's one. And here is the second one. All right, so these are all the sweet potato vines that I started about a month ago. Again, no experience with this whatsoever indoors, but all I can do is have fun while I try to see if I can overwinter these inside. Thank you for being here, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or any questions for me, just let me know in the comments below. And again, if you haven't, maybe today is the day for you guys to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for being here, and until the next time.